you to see that, Cardinals fans, but it wasn't always like this. 3 years ago, you were one of the NFL's elite. Coming within one game of the Super Bowl, you were expected to compete for the next few seasons, and not transition to the dumpster fire you are today. Well, it could be worse. Anyway, this is a fall video, so that means you must have achieved some success, so let's see how you got it. With the team being the laughingstock of the league for most of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, something needed to change. In 2007, the Cardinals promoted Michael Bidwill to be team president. With Bidwill as president and Rod Graves, who'd been the long-term general manager, the Cards signed Ken Wisenhunt to be the head coach. The Cardinals showed improvement in their first year under the new regime, going 8-8. In 2008, you guys shocked the world. With a career revival of Kurt Warner, a stacked receiving core made up of Larry Fitzgerald, Anquan Boldin, and Steve Bruston, a couple of monsters on the D-line in Darnell Dockett and Calais Campbell, a solid linebacker in Carlos Dansby, and ballhawks such as Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie and Antrell Roll, you guys went 9-7 and won the NFC West. This was a team that could make some noise come playoff time, and that they did. With Larry Fitzgerald playing out of his mind, the Cardinals beat the Falcons in the wild card, the Panthers in the divisional, and barely staved off the Eagles in an epic NFC Championship game, setting them up for a Super Bowl versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Going into the game, the Cardinals had only won 4 playoff games in the Super Bowl era, while the Steelers had won 5 Super Bowls. The Cardinals put together a valiant effort in this game, with Larry Fitzgerald taking over the fourth quarter, but per usual, the Steelers won another Super Bowl. In 2009, the Cardinals won 10-6. They entered the playoffs as the number 4 seed, setting them up for a playoff matchup versus Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. In what would be one of the greatest games in NFL history, the Cards won 51-45 in an overtime nail-biter, with Carlos Dansby running back a fumble for the game winner. In the following week, in the divisional round against the Saints, who had placed a bounty on quarterback Kurt Warner and knocked him out of the game, as they did to the Cardinals, they won 45-14. In the 2010 NFL offseason, Kurt Warner retired, ending quality quarterback play in Arizona for the next few years. Between 2010 and 2012, the Cardinals were one of the worst teams in the league. But they did start to lay out the foundation for future success by acquiring guys such as Patrick Peterson and Michael Floyd. After going 5-11 in 2012, Michael Bidwill promoted Steve Keim to general manager, fired head coach Ken Wisenhunt, and hired Bruce Arians to be the new head coach. Now, the front office had to get a quarterback, which they did on April 2nd, 2013 by trading for Carson Palmer. With one of the most innovative and intelligent coaches in the league and a capable quarterback for the first time since Kurt Warner, the Cardinals went 10-6 in 2013 and had an impressive win over the Seahawks. But unfortunately, they were eliminated from playoff contention in Week 17. In 2014, the Cards were primed for a deep playoff run, with guys such as Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson, Michael Floyd, John Brown, and Deion Buchanan coming into their own, and already established guys such as Carson Palmer, Larry Fitzgerald, and Calais Campbell. They had one of the most well-rounded rosters in the league, all under the incredible leadership of Bruce Arians. They started out hot, going 8-1 through Week 10, but lost Carson Palmer that week to a torn ACL against the Rams. Without Palmer, the Cards stumbled into the playoffs at 11-5 with Ryan Lindley at quarterback. They were demolished by the Panthers in the wildcard round in one of the worst offensive showings in NFL history. 2015 would be the year these Cardinals would put everything together. With the additions of David Johnson and Marcus Golden, they took the NFL by storm. With Carson Palmer throwing for 4,700 yards and 35 touchdowns, the Cardinals had a perfect blend of offense and defense that accumulated in a 13-3 record. And with wins over playoff teams such as the Seahawks, Bengals, Vikings, and Packers, the Cardinals went into the playoffs as the 2 seed. And with a first-round bye, they played the Packers in the divisional round. Although Aaron Rodgers completed not 1, but 2 Hail Marys in this game, the Cardinals won in overtime thanks to another epic playoff moment from Larry Fitzgerald. For the NFC Championship game, they would have to travel to Carolina once again and play the first-seeded Panthers. This game was a complete disaster. With Palmer turning the ball over 6 times, the Panthers won 49-15. With the front office thinking they were one piece away from a Super Bowl, the Cardinals went out in that offseason and traded for Patriots defensive end Chandler Jones, thinking it would put them over the edge. It didn't. Due to a combination of injuries, terrible O-line play, and poor special teams play, the team fumbled their way to a 7-8-1 record, missing the playoffs in 2016. In 2017, not much changed. The Cardinals went 8-8, and Carson Palmer broke his arm in Week 7, ending any shot the Cardinals had at the playoffs. In the 2018 NFL offseason, both Bruce Arians and Carson Palmer announced their retirement. With Keim and Bidwell desperate, they threw $20 million per year at the NFL's glass man Sam Bradford and hired Steve Wilks to be the new head coach. At the 2018 NFL Draft, they selected Josh Rosen to be the quarterback of the future. So far in 2018, these moves haven't worked out too well. I mean, other than Rosen looking okay and Christian Kirk showing some potential, the Cardinals are probably screwed for the next 3 years. But hey, maybe Kurt Warner can come out of retirement and sling it around for you guys. Alright guys, thanks for watching. So with my finals coming up soon, it might be tough to upload for these next 2 weeks, but expect a lot of content over Christmas break, and I'll see y'all in the next one. And thanks for 1,000 subs.